Hi guys, Redeye Gaijin here. Um, Today I wanted to talk a little bit about Koreans in Japan or Koreans born in Japan, and I've noticed a couple of posts recently touching on the subject. One from Hiko Simon and another one from Give Me a Break Man, and I think there are a few others going around. And I just thought I'd chip in with my 5 yen worth, just to give you a background on how I got to know about the topic. Back in 2004, when I was over working in, 2002, when I was working in Osaka. I had a very good friend who was my manager at the time, and she was Zainichi kankokujin, or a Japan-born Korean, and she actually her mother was also born in Japan, but her mother's mother had come over from Korea, and her father had come over from Korea at a very young age. They were very much, she was very much born and raised in Japan, only spoke Japanese, had never actually been to Korea, and actually I've spent a lot of time with her since 2002, and now she's my wife. That's just to give you an idea of how much exposure I've had to this world of the Zainichi kankokujin. Anyway, I guess to start, I wanted to put out there that in my experience, there are definitely two different categories of these uh, Japan-born Koreans, and one of them is the more obvious and more noticeable type, which are very much outgoing about their Korean heritage. They would be the ones who definitely attended a Korean school in Japan, um, and um, and actually they identify fully as being Korean. And they would be also involved in the local Koreatown, if there is one, and there is quite a nice one in Osaka. Um, so um, the other thing on the Korean schools there is, there's a perception that those schools are for only North Koreans. That is not true. Um, just in the circle of friends that I have, I know that there are South Korean Zainichi Kankokujin who attend these Korean high schools. It's not the case that it's just for North Koreans. Okay, so basically that's one category, and then I would say the other category are those who did not even know that they were of Korean heritage, and they actually just were born and raised as a Japanese person. The only language spoken at home was was Japanese, and they might have certain dishes or recipes or things on the menu at home which were maybe Korean-ish, so not fully Korean dishes, but you might have a Japanese dish which has something about it which is a little bit more Korean than used to, but it wouldn't be what you go out and buy in the Korean stores. And I guess that's a lot like, for example, Italians living in the US or in Australia, where the mother, it might be second or third generation Italian, but they speak English at home, and they do have regularly Italian food, but it's not the same as what would be made back in Italy. So And as it happens, my wife falls into that second category where she actually had no idea that she was Korean, or that she'd eventually need to get a passport, and that would have to be Korean, until someone at high school actually went and told her, or asked her about it, and because that girl was Zainichi kankokujin. By the way, Zainichi kankokujin means someone living forever in Japan who is of Korean descent, and Zainichi can be for any, it can be put in front of any nationality term. So it could be Zainichi Kankokujin, Zainichi Amerikajin, and that just means that their roots are from those countries, but they're born, or they're going to be living in Japan forever. So just also wanted to touch on some of the difficulties that this group of people face. Because I recall watching a video a while back, basically saying that Japanese would basically not treat these Zainichi Kankokujin any differently. They would just think it was omoshiroi, or interesting, that they had a different culture. However, that in my experience, that is not true. Basically, they have all the difficulties, or the challenges that a regular Gaijin faces once they've been identified as Zainichi no kata, or someone who's a Zainichi. And so, I mean, I'm not going to go into the obvious things which foreigners face, like being an outsider, being chigao. But on top of that, Koreans and Chinese as well are also seen as a bit of almost a lower class, if you like, by some, not by all. Probably that's a bit of an older mindset, but it's definitely still alive and well. But also there are some positive, if you, sort of positive sides to it. And one of those might be that often the average Japanese person could not even recognize that someone was a Zainichi Kankokujin unless they actually were told, and that might be very a very good thing for someone who just wants to keep a low profile, someone who just wants to live as a Japanese person. However, on the flip side to that, of course, is you could not be outwardly sort of open about being, a Zainichi, if you did want to be treated as you had been up until everyone knew. So I guess just to keep this short, I just wanted to mention that I think one of the key things that Westerners, and particularly from multicultural societies like Australia, America, UK, have is this concept of the definition and legality of becoming Japanese versus what happens in other countries. So in Australia, for example, my grandfather is Italian. He came over here, married an Italian person as well, and so my mum is Italian. However, she was born here, and therefore she's Australian because she's born here. And my mother married an Irish or an Australian with Irish roots. However, they were both considered Australians, and of course I'm considered Australian, although I've got Italian and Irish heritage. But it's just not the same for someone like my wife, whose mother was born in Japan. She's born in Japan, but no, she's Korean by law, and and basically that's what she's got to deal with. All right, that's it. Comments below. Please subscribe. Redeye Gaijin. Cheers.